Welcome back, students. Let us go to the in-text question of the chapter, okay, of the chapter number 2, that is matter around us pure, okay. We have seen the chapter, we have seen different methods of separation, okay, in the last lecture, and now we are going to discuss the in-text question which are given in the textbook, okay. So the first question is, what is meant by pure substance? Now see, the question starts with the pure substance because separation techniques are there. So first of all, we must know what is pure substance, then only we can make the pure substance. So material that is composed of only one type of particles is called a pure substance. What is material, or the anything that is composed of only one type of particles, then it is called as pure substance. Then second question is, list the points difference, okay, between the homogeneous and heterogeneous mixtures, okay. See, the difference is 2-point difference is, the homogeneous mixtures have uniform composition, means like this is the uniform, all the components of the mixtures are uniform, means there is no other particles. In a heterogeneous mixture there is a no uniform mixtures, like suppose these are the few components, okay, and another layer is also there here, okay. It is called heterogeneous. Such solutions are called as heterogeneous solution. Second difference is it has no visible boundaries of the separation between the constituents, means if there is a mixture, there is a single layer, okay, there is a single layer, there are no visible boundaries. The entire solution is red only, but you can see here in the heterogeneous there is a visible boundaries, like suppose this is the one solution, the one is separated from other by using this boundary, okay. So these two layers are clearly indicating that there is a two solutions, okay. So clear boundaries are visible here. This is a page question number 2 on page number 15, okay. Page number 18 have some questions, okay. First question is difference between the homologous and difference between the homologous and heterogeneous mixture, homogeneous and heterogeneous mixtures. For example, now see here, first of all, homogeneous mixture is a mixture having uniform composition throughout the mixture. For example, mixture of salt and water, you can see salt and water is a homologous, okay. So this is a homogeneous, homogeneous, okay. And then sugar in water is also the same, copper sulfate in water is also same, iodine in the water, alcohol, alloy and air, alloy is also homogeneous, air is also homogeneous, okay. These are all uniform composition throughout, okay. Second is, on the other hand, the heterogeneous mixture is a mixture having a non-uniform composition throughout, okay. And then for example, composition of mixtures of sodium chloride and iron fillings, okay. If iron fillings are added to the sodium chloride, then it is iron fillings added to sodium chloride, then salt and iron fillings, it forms the heterogeneous mixture. Salt and sulfur is also a heterogeneous mixture. Oil and water is also a heterogeneous mixture, okay, because it forms a distinct boundaries. Chalk powder in water also chalk settle downs and forms a two different layer. Wheat flour in water also makes a different layers, okay. Milk and water not uniform throughout the mixture, okay. So this is the heterogeneous. Now, how are sole solutions and suspensions different from each other? Now see, sole solutions and suspension. Now here there is a difference between these three, okay. Now we'll see that how these three are different, okay. See, this is the sole, this is the sole, solution and suspension. Now soles are heterogeneous and solutions are homogeneous in nature. Now sole is can be mixture of two things which may be miscible or immiscible, okay, but the solutions are always homogeneous. Now suspension, they are always heterogeneous in nature. Now soul, you can see they can scatter a beam of light. Soul, you can say nothing but a colloidal solution. Okay, colloids, you can say colloids. Now they scatter beam of light and hence show the Tyndall effect. Soul show the Tyndall effect, that is colloids. Soul means colloid, show the Tyndall effect. They do not scatter beam of light, that is solution do not scatter the beam of light and hence do not show the Tyndall effect. Then we have suspensions. The suspensions scatter the beam of light and hence show the Tyndall effect. Now this difference we have already seen clearly in the chapter also. Then souls are quite stable. Soul, that is colloids, they are stable. That means the particles are less than 100 nanometer size, and that's why the particles are quite small and they do not settle down. So it is stable. Then examples of solutions are salt in water, sugar in water, and it is stable also. Example suspension are sand in water, dust in air. Okay, so this is the difference between the soul solution and suspension. The next is to make a saturated solution of 36 grams of sodium chloride is dissolved in 100 grams of water at 293 Kelvin. Find the concentration at this temperature. Now see, this is the kind of a numerical question. Okay, let us see how it is to make a saturated solution. Okay, we have dissolved 100 grams of 36 grams dissolved in 100 grams. Okay, now let us see that see, we have a mass of solution can be defined like this: mass of solute plus mass of solvent. So 36 is the solute, that is the salt, and 100 is the solvent, that is total becomes 136. So it is equal to mass of, we have formula, mass of solute divided by mass of solvent into 100. So percentage of solute, as we can find out, so 36 upon 136 into 100, so it becomes 26.47%. okay, so this is a simple calculation. Then we have page number 24, some questions. How will you separate a mixture containing kerosene and petrol? Difference in their boiling point is more than 25 degrees Celsius, which are miscible with each other. Okay, so we have a very simple techniques known as distillation, simple distillation technique. So kerosene and petrol are miscible liquids. Also the difference between the boiling points is more than 25 degrees Celsius, so they can be separated by method of distillation. Okay, so you can see that this is the method of distillation, where thermometer is inserted, mixture is taken, mixture of kerosene and this one is taken in the distillation flask, and then this is a condenser. Okay, and then condenser ke baad this is a receiver. Okay, so the one which has lowest boiling point will be evaporated first and collected in the receiver. Okay, so this is the distillation process can be used for the. In this method, the mixture of kerosene and petrol is taken in the distillation flask, and then with the thermometer fitted in it, we also need a beaker, a water condenser, and a Bunsen burner. The apparatus is arranged shown in the figure above, and then the mixture is heated slowly. The thermometer should be watched simultaneously. Continuously, we have to keep on watching the thermometer. Kerosene will be vaporized and condensed in the water condensers. The condensed kerosene is collected from the condenser outlet, where the petrol is left behind in the receiver. Now see, there is a mistake over here. This is the mistake. This kerosene will not be evaporated first. First of all, petrol will be evaporated. Okay, petrol will be evaporated first. Petrol, as it has low boiling point, so first of all boiling of petrol will start, and then petrol, when actually petrol without heating also it will start boiling. So first of all petrol will be evaporated and condensed back into the receiver. Then when entire petrol is separated out, and then the kerosene will start boiling and vapors will start coming out. Okay, so this is the, here there is a wrong, please do not take it, okay, as it is. And then we have another technique. Name the techniques to separate. Okay, we have butter and curd. We have butter and curd. So butter and from curd can be separated by centrifugation. We have salt from the seawater. We have a evaporation. Camphor and salt, sublimation. Okay, camphor and salt. Camphor means kapoor, that can be separated from the salt by what we call sublimation. Okay, because camphor directly goes to the gaseous state, and from gaseous it becomes directly solid. There is no liquid states, and such substances are called as sublimating substances. Next question is, what type of mixtures is separated by the technique of crystallization? The crystallization method is used to purify the solids. Okay, first of all, solid solution is made, solid is converted into saturated solution and then filtered and then cooled to get a crystals, and then before cooling we have to filter the saturated solution to remove the undissolved impurities. Then classify as a chemical or a physical change. Cutting a tree, it's a physical change. Melting a butter in a pan, it's a physical change. Melting of butter is a physical. Rusting of almirah is a chemical change because rusting of iron takes place and iron is converted to iron oxide. Boiling of water from a steam, it's a physical change because there is no internal structure changes. Passing of electric current through water and water breaking down into hydrogen and oxygen gas, it's a chemical change. Electrolytic decomposition is a chemical change. Okay, now dissolving common salt in a water, physical change. Dissolution is also a physical change. Making a fruit salad with the raw fruit, it's a physical change. Burning of paper wood, it's a chemical change. Now page number 28 has certain questions. Which separation techniques will you apply for the separation of following? Now sodium chloride is there from the solution in water. Sodium chloride from its solution in water. Now sodium chloride NaCl is dissolved in the water and you want to separate it. So evaporation, the same technique is used for the making salt in the sea, okay, oceans. Ammonium chloride from the mixture containing sodium chloride and ammonium chloride. Again we use the sublimation technique because ammonium chloride is the sublimating substance, directly go from solid to gaseous state, and when cooled gaseous to solid, and then sodium chloride doesn't sublimate, so it's a sublimation technique can be used to separate these two. Small pieces of metal in the engine oil of a car, filtration or centrifugation is a proper method, or decantation. Filtration or centrifugation or decantation method, any of these three methods can be used to separate the mixture, like small pieces of metal from the engine oil of the car. Different pigments from the extract of the flower petals. There is a chromatography. You can see that the colors of the different dyes can be separated from each other by using the chromatography. Then butter from curd, we have a centrifugation. Oil in from water using separating funnel. Okay, we have seen these techniques, each and every technique we have seen. Okay, tea leaves from the tea, it's a filtration. Okay, tea leaves can be separated from tea by using the filtration. Iron pins from sands, magnetic separation. Okay, sand is non-magnetic, iron is magnetic, so magnetic separation can work here. Wheat grains from the husk, process called winnowing. Okay, by the help of natural wind, when wheat grains are thrown from the height, the husk, which is light in weight, flows in the air, whereas wheat grains being heavy falls down. The process is called winnowing. We have studied in the previous class. Fine mud particles suspended in water. So for this we have a centrifugation. Now we can use the decantation and sedimentation and decantation process, but to settle it fast, these fine particles can be settled by using the centrifugation techniques. Then write the steps you would use for making tea. Use the words solution, solvent, solute, dissolve, soluble, and then we have another insoluble, filtrate and residue. First of all, water is taken in the solvent in a saucer pan. This water as a solvent is allowed to boil. During heating, the milk and tea leaves are added to the solvent as solution, as solute. They form a solution. Then the this solution is poured through a strainer to separate the leaves. Then this insoluble part of the solution remains remains in the strainer as a residue. Then sugar is added to the filtrate, which dissolves in the filter, dissolves in the filtrate. The resulting solution is required tea. Okay, this is how the tea is made. Okay, now Pragya tested the solubility of the three different substances at different temperature and collected the data as given below. So okay, so this is the data. Okay, now we have this some questions based on the given data, so we have to solve this question. So I hope these questions you can solve. Now I'm just making these questions visible to you. Just pause the video and try to solve. Just we have to look at the table and we have to solve these questions. So just try to solve it. We'll continue next period.